Hope everybody's doing pretty good. Heading out here to the Bear and the Boss Lady YouTube studio and workshop to chainsaw carve some crap. Today it's going to be a Cardinal. I got a little piece over here I think I'm going to make a welcome bear out of too, but we're going to start with a good sized Cardinal carving. At least that's what I'm thinking. So let me get this turned around and we'll get the wheel dolly in the right spot. Curve it around here. Sorry for lack of preparedness. I just kind of, you just get to these phases where you just don't care. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. It makes plenty of sense to me. That's where, you'll have that. What happens is, you've been working so hard for so long and you just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I'm in that phase and I'll go through that phase. I'll come in and out of it, do it, over top of it, into it, out of it, over and over again. It's kind of like a vicious cycle that you'll be in. But it is what it is. It's just, I just don't give a crap. Okay, hey, Dad, Smallwood Lot, what's going on? Hey, Kyle, well, heck yeah, I need a bear for my porch. I heard that. But, that's what you get to. You just kind of ups and downs of just working too much. And I go to work, I come home, I'm out here. That's been my life for about a month and a half. I got a boat sitting in Lake Logan, and I have not touched that thing all year. It's been in the water since the middle of May. I'm dedicated, that's all I can say, to this and making this work. So that's what we're doing. All right, so I'm gonna get this fired up. I can get a mask on here, and we're gonna make us a Cardinal out of this thing. I'm gonna put the mask on. Try to wear it as long as I can stand. That I like looking like a ninja. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun. Oh, I forgot to make sure there wasn't any brown recluse spiders in there. It could sting me in the face. My face swell up. I'm not gonna laugh about that. I'll be all right with it. Whatever. If you're gonna look dumb in style, right? Okay. All right, let's get this going. I've been using that bar a lot, but I've been using it for detail. It's got a burr in it, and it's not wanting to cut. It's cutting, don't get me wrong. It's just the bar is too wide. So, crazy. You can that fast. You can tell what this is going to be. Y'all do me a favor. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. And we'll keep right on rolling. driving me nuts that that thing is moving. But you know, that fast, you can tell what it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be the nicest duck I've ever made. Oh, I'm just kidding. All right, hit the like. Unless you think this is a duck, don't hit the like. But for the rest of you, hit the like button if you haven't already. Appreciate that. It's stripped out again. So these are posts that's been laying out for a long time. And you just got to find that sweet spot where they're not too bad. And actually, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't think there's such thing. Apparently on that side it's pretty soft. That was the bottom that's been exposed for 3 or 4 years, however long that thing's been laying out. And it's kind of soft. like kind of basic bird shell. I mean, cut down. I mean, that fast. I mean, he kind of come to life. That said, y'all hit the like. Heck, we're up to not even 20 minutes and we got 72 likes. How's it going, Victoria? Woodchucker, Plywood, what's going on? Glad to see you. Billy, Shoemate, June. How y'all doing? All right, let me get a little saw out to do the finish work on this dude. And I don't know. I'm debating between next doing another Cardinal or doing a little welcome bearer. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Looking, man, where did he get that little tiny saw from? You know, there's some kid walking down the road and I just took it from him. It's a Fisher Price. No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that. He tripped and it fell in my hand. That's what happened. mask off. I can take them earplugs out for a second. And I got, you know, two different things I can do. I can go ahead and finish on this guy and get him done and then go to something else, or I think I want to do it, finish it. That'd be kind of the, hey, we're one away from 100. Hey, Ezra Davis, appreciate that, man. Yeah, I probably could do a flamingo. Hey, Artsy, what's going on? Plywood, glad to see y'all. Yeah, I could do a flamingo, Victoria. I don't have the setup for that here right now, though. I mean, I'd have to have the piece of wood up here to do it with, but I could definitely do one, yeah. Hey, what's my favorite impression of a duck? I don't have enough gas to show you, my man, or I would. That said, let's go ahead and sand this dude down real quick. And actually, do a little burn, just knock off the frizzies. It just goes easier, and everybody likes to see the fire. That's what I figured out. If there was this way, I could just turn the lights down low, just long enough for the fire. I need to put, you know, zip it a little bit right there. Man, that was loud. That's what happens when you've been wearing them earplugs. I'll tell you what, they're just so much better than muffs. Sand all that off, and burning just makes it so much easier to sand. But you know, I mean, now comes the boring part of chainsaw carving. You know, guys buzzing around with electric tool, and then another electric tool, and then you know, spray paint it, and you know, nobody cares. Everybody wants to see chainsaw go, and I don't care. I mean, I don't blame you, but I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna put a coat of red on this dude before I take it off of here. So it's going to be done. some eyeballs. I think I got a burr in just for that. I hope I got a burr in just for that. We're gonna find out. Oh yeah, I got the right MANPA burr. And actually, I got my tool with the MANPA burr and the tool to give it the nose holes and the mouth line. I had them tangled up. Yep. Heck yeah, this dude's about to get his first coat of paint. Whoa, don't want to bend that burr. Actually, I need to hit that with the disc right there and right there. But I'll do that after I get this on there. And then we'll give him a coat of paint. And then I got to make up my mind whether I'm going to make a bear, a little bear, or I'm going to make another cardinal. Heck yeah, what'd that take me? 34 minutes. That's pretty good. Hit the like if you haven't already. We appreciate y'all being in there. I see we're up to 117. That's pretty good. I'll take it. Heck yeah. Not bad at all. Enjoying myself making this stuff. I just enjoy it. Okay, I need to touch that up. Don't worry about it. Okay. Alright, let's give this dude a coat of paint. What the heck? At least get him started, you know. I can't finish him on a live. I could finish him on a live, but it'd be a boring live because you got to wait for one paint to dry to get to another paint. Let's see who all we got here. Billy. Hey, Dan, what's going on? Artsy. Hey, Shoops, well, you know, 121. I'm getting ready to send you guys something. Let's see. Pete Drummer, how's it going? Ezra Davis. Heck yeah. Glad to see y'all in there. All right. Well, pretty good. I mean, it's just like that. That dude is cool. Don't get me wrong. He'll end up needing another coat of red and then a coat of black around there, and of course do the face. Now I hit this with that anyway on that brow, even though it's going to be black. It just get a coat of paint on there. It just seems like it helps with the black because we hand paint the black. Although I'm going to get one of those Winston guns off of my Honey's Handmaids link and try that thing out. That looks like that'd be fun. And I don't take care of things good enough to get into airbrushing just yet. Although this winter I do see that coming. But you never know. I might like the Winstons and just stick with it. I don't know. I like easy and fast and simple. I think most of us are that way. I'm also run this can out on it. Give them a good coat. It's just about done. Heck yeah, if I start acting goofy, it's because I breathed in too much paint. You see, well, wait a minute, I was acting goofy when I got here. I don't know. Alright, throw that away, that was the end of that can. I got more. Hey, get in the trash. He didn't want to go in there. That's because he knew that there was some of them brown recluse spiders in there, you know, no jack yet, man. I got bit by one. Some bit me last night, too, but it wasn't like that spider bite. There it is, there's battery girls I was looking for. That gets that guy started, you know. I mean, orange beak, black mask, you know, he'll have, he's got one, I got one overcut in there, but it is what it is. Most people don't care. You know what I mean? It is what it is. They don't, and you know, the eyeballs will be black. I might put a little white spot on them just to try to make it look cute. You know, I don't know. But we were able to do that even though that bottom was fairly rotty. And I'll show you, that was the end of the log. See how it's been wet, moist, and it's just kind of soft. I wouldn't call it rotten yet, but definitely not good. We'll set that over there. But the rest of the bird, clearly by the carving, you can tell he's hard as a rock. So it's either a little fat welcome bear or another cardinal. And I'm going to do this something I should never do. You should never do. And I'm going to put it to the peanut gallery. You people, YouTube watching, to tell me if this piece of wood should be a cardinal or a little bear. What do you guys think? Let's see. 128 likes, 275. I'm pretty sure I can get somebody to vote. Let's see. Chipmunk? No, I ain't got time for that. It's a little harder. I have to think about it. Bear. Okay. Baby kisses. She picked it. That's right. I got it. Hi, Be Humid. What's going on? Amy Martinez. Hello, hello, hello. Everybody says bear. Hey, Susie Q. Local pimp. Man, I like that. I'm a local hustler. All right, my man. All right, let's get it done. I just move a bolt. You guys steal my bolt? It's probably in the bottom. Yeah, look at that. You believe that? It was hiding. And then it fell. Now the piece of wood's going to fall on me. Watch. No, it didn't. This one should bite better, too. Yep, that bit good. Okay. All right. They said bear. Local pimp said bear. Baby kisses said bear. All right. Woodlot said chipmunk. And that's not a bad selection. It's just I had to get out a picture of one. And don't get me wrong, Woodlot. So they run through here. I'll be out here carving. You would think they would know nothing to do with this place. I'll be out here in the daytime, and they'll come in and they'll run along the edge of the floor and go back out, and they'll peek and look at me, and I'll stop and look at them, and then they'll realize I'm looking at them, and then they got to get out of here before I guess I jump on them and eat them. I don't know what they're thinking I'm going to do. I'm not that fast. You know, I'm kind of a fat guy. I don't know if you noticed, but I mean, hey, who could catch a chipmunk? You know, I mean, I don't know who could. I did have a bad experience with chipmunks, though. I had glue traps in there to catch moles and voles going in, or voles going in, and mice going in the garage, and I ended up getting catching a chipmunk that way. That was an awful experience because like it ripped the skin off his tail, and it was just horrible. I felt so bad for him, and so I quit doing it that way. I wouldn't do it that. And then this year we had 2 of them got in the pool because we would feed the birds and stuff on our deck. They come out on our deck and they go past the pool. And this was before pool season, and they drowned. They got in the pool, couldn't get back out because the water level was too low. You know what? Before I even get started in that, let me dump some more fuel in that thing real quick so it don't run out on me midstream. Because what's going on with that other bar, I literally, before the live, just got done with the JONCUTTER. These bars, they start to mushroom. And every so often you got to take them off and buff them down. They call it dressing. And it's kind of like salad dressing, except for the sparks flying everywhere. And they get wide. And they get wider than the chain, and then they won't cut. And that's what's going on with that. The one that's on the MS170. And this one ain't far behind it. So I'll probably do them both. Wednesdays is my day that I work on stuff because I don't have much time when I get home from work, because that's the day we go and give praise to God. Not that you shouldn't do that every day, but that's the day we do it as a congregation. So I'm not, don't have much time. So it's a good day for me to prep my stuff. And because I got about 45 minutes, and I can get everything ready in 45 minutes. Almost like an athlete. Woo! Sucking the breath. guy's gonna go by and say, what is that fat guy doing to that piece of wood? What did that piece of wood do to deserve this? That's what happens. Something always happens. That's the way it goes. All right, we're going to go to this one when we know the bar's a little mushroom. Uh-huh. Come on, Christina. In there, but I'm looking at it and I'm a little hesitant, and the reason I say that is this is kind of thin here, and the center outer layer is more likely to chip, but I said we're getting pretty close here. Oh, it's not too far off. I'll make it work, but I'm going to dig in, and also it looks like I got a burr up here I can cut off. I wouldn't, maybe a little bit deeper, go past the, I just cut some of that off, that'd be easier. But other than that, it's going to fit. going to be his little welcome sign he's going to have. You know, it'll be cute. I mean, it might be cute. I might be self-assuming. I don't know. For, you know, sitting on his butt, holding a welcome sign. I got to start doing some detail on his face, but I got to lose this mask. I can only do that for so long. I don't care. I mean, it's pretty. When you're working hard, it'll wear you out pretty quick. But that said, if you haven't hit the like already, be sure to hit it. I'm gonna take this hoodie off too. It's getting a little warm, but especially that mask. It's just as soon as the sun went down, I got really, really cool out here. a nose and he's smiling. So. Pretty good. Got the eye cavities, ears dug in. This one's a little bigger than this one, and this one's a little flatter. But you know, you could set a beer can there, maybe. I don't know. Maybe, sort of. That's what we got. 182 likes, man. Maybe it'd be nice if we could get to 200. Hey, Susie Q, Artsy Doodles, Woodshed by Dan. What's going on? Baby kisses. Glad to see you in there. We got Billy Shoemate. He, you know, he's eating ice cream. And Cheech, my man Grumpy. What do you know, buddy? Glad to see you. All right, so he's kind of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame over here. He's got a little too much shoulder. So let's fix that. We'll hips and stuff, but I'm not going to. It's just like a basic little bearer and a little sign bearer. He's cute. I mean, that's definitely cute. And then he's going to have on top of that a little welcome sign slid in there. That's going to look good. He's not, you know, I mean, his price point's going to be pretty low too. I mean, you know, it's something that would be affordable. And I like making affordable stuff. That just means you sell a lot more. That said, I'm going to go ahead and start giving this guy hair. I'm going to leave these, I may give some pawl lines, but I'm going to leave these pads alone and then come back through with that eye bit and give it 5 little toes. So anyway, let me get it some hair. And if you haven't hit the like button, hit it. Be sure and hit it. We're up to 187. I'd like to get to 200. That'd be really cool. All right. Hey, T-Bone, what's going on, man? Matthew, the Happy Car Mungeon. Check him out. All right. Up to now 194. We need 6 more. give this guy. Too hard and end up knocking one of them off. That's the thing you got to worry about with this out here, this green. It'd be pretty fragile. So let's burn this dude and sand him. With that hair, they're a little fun to burn, and I don't have to sand them. If you burn it right, you don't have to sand it at all when it comes to the bears. Take the earplugs out so I quit yelling. I yell anyway. Hey, 200, just like that, man. Heck yeah, guys, appreciate that. What am I doing here? I thought just an out, because we're running out. That's right. You guys are going to make me want to make something out. It's funny, too. I told the boss lady, so I've been just really going at it, you know. And as far as carving goes, I made 6 little pumpkins, which I hate making little pumpkins, and I made 16 of them yesterday. But I made 2 big pumpkins today, and they were pretty fun to make. One of them is probably the biggest pumpkin I've ever made. Actually, I'm sure it's the biggest pumpkin I've ever made. Tell you what, I can clear coat this bear and sell it just like that. No paint. I gotta clean off the So I got to clean off the mouth, got to clean off these paws, and I might have to come back and reburn this. And then these, I want to clean these off to the wood collar and give them 5 little dots on each side for toes. So let's start with that. Get the feet cleaned up so I can give it toes. And I mean, we'll give it eyes, we'll give it everything. We might as well just do it, get it all done. But there's no, you could paint him, you could stain him, or you could leave him like this. And his tone is such that I'm probably just going to leave him like that. Let's see if we can get it. Man, it just seems kind of far away, doesn't it? I wonder if I can zoom him in a little bit. So I'll probably have to reburn that a little bit. That's all right. But that green, I will get it off there. And then anyways, looks pretty cute. You get my eyeballs, get the 5 little dots here, reburn that. That's what I'm gonna do first, is reburn that so it's done. And then I might even come back in and sand just enough to kind of give it claw marks. I don't know. Can't light it that way. I gotta have my hand on it. I don't know. I think I just leave it like that. I'll let it clean up. Clean the dust off. Yeah, that looks good enough like it is. So, let's do the torch for this again. Shut the gas off. And let's do the paws first. And I'm going to use the same little eye cutter tool that I used for that cardinal foot. And I could go bigger, but I think this will be good. There's that. We've got those. Let's give us some nose holes next. Get that done. Don't want to drop that and bend that pointy burr though. It's been pretty easy. And that thing is super handy out here. I like it. All right. Alright, let's pull out a big eye cutter and get that eye cutter. I think I got one in my VEVOR eye grinder now. Yeah, I do. I don't know. I think that's a little small. Let me look. That's not bad, but I think I'd rather go bigger. That's what I'm talking about. It's another one of my eye cutters like I just did the foot with, but I'm going to go with a bigger one. A little bit bigger. Let's see. Maybe. If I can find all the tools to change it with. How about that? Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm good. I don't need this mask anymore, I don't think. So I can take it off, set it up there. I'm just trying to, you know, incorporate that stuff more. I know it's right. What you should be doing. Protecting yourself and being safe. But you can't wear that stuff forever. Like, you know, it'll drive you nuts. So, if you do it some, it's better than none, right? And that's a kind of principle I'm going off of with it, you know. I mean, some is better than none. So let's see who we got while I'm getting this loose. All right, we got Artsy, Susie Q. Heck yeah. What else we got here? M&G Hydraulic, man. Glad to see you again. Heck yeah. Baby Kisses. And Raja Bendigohana. I'll tell y'all what. Check Raja Bendigohana out. I really like Raja. He's a hard-working guy. He's over in India. And he does a heck of a job with the lathe. And I mean, just an awesome worker. Okay, where is my, here it is. I found it, 13 millimeter wrench. There we go. Take this out and go with the bigger, probably next size up. I don't know. We'll pull some down and see. I got them all in the same. All the quarter drives is in the same box. Yeah, let's see. And I definitely need to upgrade this shop as I go, but I just don't have time for that right now. So that's the one I just took out right there. Here's a smaller one. Okay. I don't want to go too big. I don't want to go too little. How about now? I think we'll go with this one. Let's see. Yeah, it barely fits in there. That's what I want. Okay. It'll be big eyes for the size of his size anyway. Yeah. And there's some things I noticed, like that this wood, this dry wood, you got to watch it. Like there's a crack here and a crack there, but this crack here, I could see the potential for the ear to chip off. And while I have it, I don't know why I wouldn't, because I'm going to clear coat it anyway. Just drop some glue down in there and let the glue settle down in. And that stuff's forever. If it gets down in there, it might crack below the glue, but it's not going to crack where the glue's at. Okay. I mean, it's forever unless you set it on fire. How about that? Or it's attacked by one of them Iraqi Scud missiles, you know, that couldn't really hit anything. But, you know, just say it did hit something and it hit this bear in the ear, I'm pretty sure it would chip off. You know, I mean, you just never know. You know, you got to think positive. Sometimes, why would they launch them if they didn't think they were going to hit something, right? Okay. Yeah, that works. Only thing I got to fix is where I hit the nose right there and try to clean some of the leftover dust from cutting the eye. Try to sand some of that out. I got a finger sander. I could try to take that stuff off of that. And if I got that thing out, I wasn't going to, but if I got that thing out, I'm going to clean the ears out. It just makes it look better. At least I think. I don't know. So what are we up to? About 210 likes? Heck yeah, that's pretty good. I appreciate you guys. That's really, really good. Hey, mainly off grid. I seen you and the boy out there fishing today. Looked to me like he had a little bass. Yeah, I'm happy. I'll paint the eyeballs white and then black. I'll paint it black over the white and then paint the nose black, trim this out black, and he'll be done. I'm going to go ahead and clean the ears out. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Not too bad, not too good. Somewhere in the middle, that's the best we can get. But I might as well do the, take him off there and do the little sign real quick with the bird. I can screw it to this thing and I can cut it in there. But yeah, he looks good. He looks good on there too. You know, cute little guy. Not too bad, not too good. Something like that, right? Hey, so something I noticed today, and I went and did it, and I'll mention it to you guys. Those of you that's in the tribe that's been around a while, know who Pilato is. And Pilato's wife started a channel, and it's kind of like a encouragement, self-help, what she's going through and trying to encourage in others. Because she's on her, I believe, her 6th organ transplant. And I'm like, what? 6? Wow. Anyway, she started a channel, and the idea is that her channel is meant to encourage others who might go through the same thing. And he was asking people to subscribe and check her out, you know, and support her. And so I went and checked her channel out, and I'm like, wow, she's taking full advantage of her health situation to encourage other people. And I thought that was pretty cool, to encourage other people that might be in the same or similar predicaments. And, you know, obviously, she's been through this a billion times now. She's had to have 6, she's getting ready to have a 6th transplant, if I understand right. So he was asking people to check her channel out. And the problem is I can't remember. I knew her last name was Nelson. I can't remember her first name. But if you go to Pilato's channel, I'm sure you'd see it in his posts. And give her a sub, man. You know, and you never know. She might share something that's encouraging. I thought that was pretty cool. And the way she's embraced her situation and even made light of it, I thought was pretty awesome. You know, and a kind of encouraging thing to see. So I decided to throw that out there. You know, I don't know him. So, you know, don't get me wrong. Not trying to help out homies or anything. You know, just some people that's on the channel as part of the tribe, but seen they were doing something kind of neat and couldn't hurt to support them. Okay, let's see. So he's going to get a screw in the bottom. And I think for purposes of YouTube live streaming, what I'm going to do is, so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to screw that to that, to that. And that's where my screw would go anyway. And we'll cut welcome into that, if that makes any sense. We'll see what we got here. 213 to 104. Who else we got here? MG, Hydraulics, Artsy, Susie Q, the Sheep's Wood Shop. Yeah, that's awesome. Pilato Creations, you got it. And heck yeah, he put it out there. Pilato's link to be able to help. I can't remember. It's her name. I like Deborah or something like. I can't remember what her name is, but I know it's Nelson. That's what her channel's called. It's her name. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But I seen that, and then I went and checked out some of her shorts, and just how she's embracing her situation is just pretty tasteful. I mean, I thought. Okay, before I cut this with this, I probably should go ahead and write it. I think. Let's see who's got the waving. Raja, heck yeah, buddy. Look at that. Yep, Cheat, Sharon Rogers. Heck yeah, glad to see that. Let's see who else we got here. Woodshed by Dan. Heck yeah. See you later, Raja. All right, let's go ahead and center. Center's going to be your C. Put that on there. Oh. And this guy's going to be done. So you go right backwards. You know, I'm okay with that. You know. But everything I do is backwards. How about that? Somebody's going, oh yeah, we know. We've watched you. Right? All right. Let me put the mask back on. I'll burn that in real quick. And, you know, I really would rather be using, man, I could go in there, instead of doing it that way, I could go in there and do it with the, I think I'd rather do it that way. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to unscrew that. We're going to go into the flex shaft and do it the flex shaft. And I'll tell you what, I just think I get a better result using a pointy coarse burr on the flex shaft than I will trying to pull it. Not that I can't do it that way. That's how I always did it. But I got to keep my eye on my signal too, so I don't lose it. It said I got 5. I don't know what happened. But here lately, I've had a couple times where I've lost signal, and it don't make any sense because I got router signal clear up to the end of my driveway, which is a 1/4 mile, and yet sometimes if I walk into here or walk somewhere, I will lose it. Okay, let's see what we got. Kapow. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's do that. I'll zoom in on this piece of wood. Kapow. Shazam. Shazam, shazam. Yeah, okay, Gomer. All right. Anyway, I'm going to use this one. And it just does a good job. It's not too wide, but it's not too thin either. And that one I was getting ready to use, that's the downside of it, is it can be kind of thin. And I probably ought to pull this wire tie over here, because this thing will get the bouncing and fall off, hit me in the head, I'll pass out, and you guys will be sitting there wondering what happened to me. And that's all right. You know, that's okay too. You know. What happened to Bear? I think he's dead. No, he's just sleeping. No, I think he's dead. No, I'm telling you, he's just sleeping. No, I'm sure he's dead. Shut up, for God's sake. He's not dead. Okay, well, get this thing. Tighten it, clamp it. And I'm going to tell you about a little story about a man named Jed. Not plugged in. Why ain't y'all plug my stuff in? What did he say? Isn't that good? Yeah. halfway through, it dawned on me that I never turned on my dust collector. And I just said, you know what, the heck with it. I'm just going to go with it the way it is. And so be it. But anyway, let's go back out there to the, who we got here? Hey, POWERTOOLS. Hello. How's it going, man? Yeah, check these guys out. There was Jake and Jakeette, or Jakelin, and little Jake hiding in there. All right, let's walk back out here. Make sure we can keep signal. It's down 2 bars at the moment. I don't know. As long as y'all can see me. I just don't want to lose disconnect. Yeah, I got that zoomed in too, don't I? It's like too close to my face. Yeah, nobody wants. You don't want to see me that close. Okay. All right, yeah, we kept connection. I like how my beard, when it dries out, it gets this like loop in the. It's time to cut it down some. Cut an inch off. That way it won't look like that no more. Okay, so now I left my glasses in there, didn't I? I still got the safety glasses. Goggles. Heck yeah. All right. This is my goggles. They make me giggle. All right, let's burn that. We'll put that like that. Burn it and sand it and share it. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Not too bad, not too good. All right, somewhere in the middle. Oh, the smell of perfume. All right, now let's put the mask on and cut that off. I did bring the mask. I know I forgot my glasses, but I did bring the mask, and as long as I'm close to it, hey man, you know, I used to be nearsighted. Now I should be probably wearing bifocals, and I mean that's just really hit me in the last 2 years. Really the last year that I've noticed that my close vision is just really going to crap. Well, if you were sitting there when I was gouging that, you know, you think to yourself, man, why is he going back over them and going so deep? Now you know, because look how thin our O got through that whole process. It got pretty thinned out. It's not bad. Spray coat some clear on there, and that black will stay in there, and it'll be good forever. Well, I don't know about forever, but how about this? All the way to the scene of the crash. All right, yeah, okay. My guy up there, and he's just gonna need some paint in his eyes, his nose, in his mouth, and he'll be all done. Cute little guy. I'm like, oh, yeah, that looks like crap. Look at that. So if I leave that like that, that just looks like crap. I need to fix that. Just cut it off. You just let it go, all right? Yeah. All down in there. Now I'll take the washer off. I keep forgetting I don't need the washer. Alright, my bit's too short. Can't quite get in there. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all the way in there with this one. I dropped that washer. Keep it. Find out. No, I'm sure I can come up with something else. That's good enough. Yeah, there we go. I just don't want the sign. You know what I mean? It's done that way. It's done. It ain't coming apart. Everything's good, good, good. So let's do a little review. What we got here? I mean, the obvious is this bear just got done with. Most of the people's been here for that, you know. Gee, it's just so close. And, you know, I mean, it looks a little wonky until his nose is painted, his eyes are painted, and his mouth is painted. It's all going to be black. And it'll be pretty cool. You guys hear that owl? Listen. Here, let me go to this cardinal. Y'all listen for the owl. Check him out. We'll get more paint on him real quick. Hey, appreciate it, Chucker. Appreciate it, Billy. You guys hear it? Listen. Let me give it back to him. I bet he don't make a sound now. Hey, I appreciate that, William. Heck yeah. Y'all hear that? He answered me back. Listen. Let's go here. We'll go up here and listen. See if we can't hear him again. Come on, do it again, buddy. Woo! I'm about to scare the heck out of him. You never know. Anyway, this is Crazy Owl. Well, that's what we got. That's pretty cute. By the time I get the eyes and the nose and the mouth done, he's still going at it. Heck yeah. And this guy will give him his mask and paint his beak. And he get a black trim around the bottom. Clean him up real good. But that's what we got. Appreciate you guys being here. It's we've been on here for 101 minutes. So that's not bad. Not too bad. Not too good. Somewhere like that. Hour and a half. That's kind of what I was hoping for. But what, Michael? Michael, hey, Michael. Hey, heck yeah. Hey, Rick, what's going on, man? I hadn't seen you. It's been a week or two. Baby Kisses, was you able to hear the owl? Yeah, I don't know if it was a girl owl or not. You know, it's hard to say, Baby Kisses. I don't know if I could fly up there and catch it and flip it over and check. I don't know, but you could hear it. Cool. That's awesome. Heck yeah. Hey, that's no problem at all, Michael. We know how it is. Life's, I mean, that thing is still carrying on. You can see, I understand, man. I've been pretty busy. I think it's still carrying on. Steelers won. I heard that. Hey, Mark, I got to catch your video. I seen you put one out today that you carved something, but I didn't look at it very quick or very much to see who it was. I'll check it out, though. If you guys don't know, Mark is making stuff, or Mark tries to carve. Mark does try to carve, and he does a really good job of it. So be sure and check him out. Here we go. Listen to this owl one more time. He won't shut up. He must be lonely. Even with me being down here being a jackhole, carrying on like a fool, he's up there on a hill just going off. I'm listening. Kevin. Yeah, Mark Anthony. Check him out. Michael and Kevin got it on there. Heck yeah. He must have gave up. Just when you stop and try to listen, take something in like that, that's when they got to quit. And I think the moon's pretty bright tonight too, but oh well. There he is. You hear him? That dude is carrying on. Oh well. Anyway, y'all, that's what I got. I will be back tomorrow night. I'm hoping to hook up with Big Mex tomorrow about the middle of the day and get some stuff he's got. And if that works out, I got some ideas. I want to make a pickle, like a little pickle man, you know, like stick figure legs, a pickle with some big white eyes, and I want to say deal with it, you know. And a couple other ideas I got. And of course, I got to carve pumpkins. I did not put y'all through that. I did 16 yesterday and 6 more today. But I did do this big, realistic looking. And then I got one down there. It's about 4 times bigger than that. A big, tall, kind of neutral, tall one. But it's down there in the dark. And then I'll put it down there because it needs to dry. I mean, really bad. The sun needs to dry on it. Anyway, that's what I got, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. 2 things to remember. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 or 8:30, something like that. Creation does 777. I believe he's going to be back. I know they were doing something, but I think they're going to be back to do their Wednesday show. I'm pretty sure he said so. That was usually about between 2 and 2:20, so be sure and check him out too. Hey, John, what's going on, man? Heck yeah, they're fun, actually. The one I did today, these little ones, they're not fun. You get over that pretty quick. But these more realistic big ones, they're pretty fun. Hey, Chucker, you got it. I like the toilets. Where's the TP? But that said, the big pumpkins, I could walk down there, but I mean, I think it's too dark. If I had my O-light, I could probably show you, but I think it's too dark to see it. But this thing, I made a nice stem on it. It comes out about 8 inches. And hey, I'll tell you what, I seen, I want to say it was Chainsaw Jenna did one where it was like swirly. I don't even know how you do that. I'm not going to even try it. I mean, I just can't even, I'm too impatient. I would snap. In fact, when I was doing this over here today, I had that first idea to make that stem. It was out to here, and then it chipped off. So I said, heck with that. But then I did do it again with the lot greener piece I had down there, and it came out. There's the TD. Heck yeah, William got it. Chucker got it. Yep, Chucker even got pizza. Yeah, heck yeah. I had like chicken stir fry or something. Little baby boss lady made today. It was pretty good. I call her little baby, but she's 17. Okay, guys, that's what I got. Appreciate y'all being in here. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. And also remember what I said about checking out Pilato's wife's channel. Help him out too. Come